In a democracy, the right to express opinions and personal viewpoints is sacred. But what happens when those in power begin to see that right as a threat? The recent actions attributed to Sir Keir Starmer raise pressing questions about the state of democratic freedom in the UK. Reports suggest that Starmer has taken steps to target citizens who signed a petition calling for his resignation. This has ignited widespread concern about potential suppression of free speech. Millions of citizens have signed the petition voicing their dissatisfaction with Starmer's leadership. Instead of addressing these legitimate concerns, he is allegedly using state power to counter those who disagree with him. Are we still living in a free society, or are we witnessing the emergence of a regime where questioning authority can lead to punishment? According to reports, Starmer is considering imposing a respect order on individuals who sign the petition. This would classify their actions as antisocial behavior, potentially leading to police action. The idea that simply signing a petition could lead to arrest seems absurd, doesn't it? Yet this is what many fear under Starmer's leadership. Such a move has sparked outrage and disbelief among the public, who see it as an attack on democratic rights. The petition has now gathered over 2 million signatures, sending a clear message. A significant portion of the public is dissatisfied with Starmer's leadership. Instead of listening to this collective voice, Starmer is accused of treating the signatories as lawbreakers. This approach raises serious questions about his attitude towards public opinion and democratic participation. Does he feel the pressure from this wave of opposition? With over 2 million signatures, it is hard to ignore. Starmer's alleged response reveals a troubling view of democracy. Rather than engaging in dialogue, he is accused of dismissing citizens' voices and even labeling them antisocial simply for expressing dissent. This isn't just about a petition. It reflects broader concerns about how dissent is handled in the UK. Will all forms of opposition be treated as threats to authority? If so, what does this mean for freedom of expression? Many find Starmer's approach hypocritical. He claims to address antisocial behavior at the local level, yet his actions are causing widespread national discontent. An interesting idea has emerged. What if Starmer himself was subjected to a respect order? Leaders should earn public respect, not enforce it through state power. Imagine law enforcement knocking on the doors of 2 million citizens simply for signing a petition. This scenario underscores a deeper issue. The right to dissent is the cornerstone of democracy. Leaders must be accountable not just on election day, but throughout their term. Winning an election does not give a leader the license to ignore public dissatisfaction. Democracy is a continuous dialogue between leaders and citizens. Ignoring dissent undermines this principle. Reports also allege that Starmer sought to curb free speech on social media, even pressuring Elon Musk to censor critical content on X, formerly Twitter. Suppressing online criticism is one thing. Actively attempting to silence it poses a serious threat to freedom of expression. Petitions reflect public dissatisfaction, and Starmer's alleged response shows his true leadership style. Respect can only be earned through accountability, not threats. As citizens, do we not have the right to voice our disagreements without fear of retaliation? Freedom of speech is a pillar of any democratic society. Suppressing differing opinions simply because they challenge those in power is a dangerous path. While freedom of speech must be protected, it's important to recognize that inciting violence remains a crime. Social platforms have a responsibility to prevent incendiary content from spreading. This is not just about free speech, but also about public safety. Laws must be applied consistently across all spaces, both online and offline. Ensuring the safety and security of citizens is the foremost responsibility of any government. In light of these events, the public faces a clear choice: stay silent or stand up to protect the fundamental rights that define our democracy. Treating citizens as criminals for expressing their opinions is not just an attack on free speech. It strikes at the very essence of our society. If leaders like Starmer are allowed to suppress dissent without consequence, we risk losing the freedoms generations have fought to secure. Now is the time to speak up. Will you be a passive observer? or will you join millions in demanding accountability? The future of our democracy depends on your action. While Starmer faces strong criticism over reports of banning petitions and silencing dissent, the Labour Party must address these issues of transparency and credibility to regain public trust. In the face of these alarming allegations, the future of our democracy hangs in the balance. The right to dissent, to challenge authority, and to hold leaders accountable is not just a privilege, it is a fundamental pillar of a free society. If we allow these rights to be eroded, we risk slipping into a dangerous precedent where power goes unchecked and voices are silenced. Now's the time for every citizen to reflect on what kind of society we want to live in. Will we stand by and watch as democratic principles are undermined, or will we rise together to defend our freedoms? The choice is ours. Silence is complicity. Action is our duty. Our democracy depends not just on leaders, but on the courage and vigilance of its people. Let us not forget, true respect is earned through transparency, accountability, and dialogue, not through fear and suppression.